The FIFA community is something I've never really seen in a lot of other video games. Sure, other communities will have toxicity. That's, of course, naturally going to happen in any online competitive game. But it's not just the toxicity that makes this a hellscape for people to play. Everyone in the game is either toxic, boring, or ratty, or just a combination of all three. And as to quote Inception, you have to be part of one of these things in order to just load up the game. All of these things are connected and form a triangle. The strongest shape in nature, which is probably why we're all addicted to this awful game and cannot break out of it. Now, don't get me wrong, I still play a couple games a week, playing co-op seasons with a friend, so I and he are both in this situation. But the way that some of you guys play...
That's gross. That's a gross way to live.
So let's talk about these three pillars. The first one being rats. You know, the ones who have to spam mechanics every 3 seconds. Oop, I have open space to run into, but my underdeveloped rat brain tells me to do a step over boost instead of just running because I'm not good at the game. Seriously, you have to relearn broken mechanics every single year, and when something like the finesse shot is nerfed, you have absolutely no idea what to do for the next 3 days until the next broken mechanic is found. And in those 3 days, when you're getting spanked more than Ned Flanders as a child, your full rattiness is unleashed and you start sending messages. That was BS and you know it. Nah, you suck, followed by 6 other messages. 71 press, laughing emoji. You know what the funny thing is? I haven't used 71 depth this year, and that's the thing. You guys become a little delusional in what you're sending. Like I said, I haven't used the 71 depth press all year because I'm not a rat. Well, I can't move my players because of your terrible connection, so it favors losers like you. Sir, this is my wired internet connection. And the guy who said I was boring actually had most of his outfield players in his own half, parking the bus. Now that guy was something that I mentioned earlier, some of the pillars combined, because not only was he ratty, but he was boring as all hell. And listen, guys, listen, you're not pros. You're not, okay? Stop following every single pro tactic that gets released because they all do the same thing. 4-3-2-1, left and right back, stay back while attacking. A few center mids on stay back, a few attackers on comeback on defense, and direct passing. I'm pretty sure I just named like half the community's tactic right there. We have the same attacking phases, the same park the bus meta, the same players and cards being used over and over. I would say to try to not be boring, but when people have this opinion, I don't have any faith in them whatsoever. Because this actually goes deeper than just the gameplay itself, and I'll show you a prime example. Ozilla is a FIFA skiller, and he managed to come up against Diogo Jota. Now Jota, if you didn't know, is actually a pretty good player, and Ozilla found himself 2-0 down in 19 minutes. Ozilla then decided to do the most heinous thing that any FIFA player could imagine, and just try to like have fun and skill with the goalkeeper. Seriously, that's all he did. He was literally just trying to have a bit of fun and take the piss a little bit, and boy, people did not like that. And neither did Jota, who time wasted in the first half. Now, I'm not completely defending Ozilla in this case. Like I said, he was taking the piss a little bit. He was winding up Jota on purpose, but guess what? It's a video game, which apparently some people forget that. This community took the side of someone passing the ball back and forth, wasting time, and then persecuted someone who was just trying to have a little bit of fun. I mean, just look at some of the replies here. Even if you're having a bit of fun doing skills, playing like that is cancer. No one plays like that. So having fun is cancer now. Maybe I should do what you do and just do cutback simulator. Literally what you said, and then just not have fun. Bro just wants his win and wants to move on to the next game. You think anyone wants to play this game longer than they have to? Like genuinely, do you only play video games that you hate? I mean, if you're this guy, then like probably. Anytime I make a video ranting about this game, I get people to say, just don't play the game. But the moment someone tries to have fun and play the game, that's all of a sudden a bad thing. You think anyone wants to play this game? Well, if they're on it, then probably. And if you don't, then go play something else. You have that freedom, unlike a lot of other content creators. I cannot believe I have to explain this. Video games are meant to be played and have fun. Jesus Christ, this is insane. Anyone who goes 1-0 down and does not quit is time wasting. I'd just quit if you equalize. If I go 1-0 up, no one else is allowed to win. This is who you guys have on your side, by the way. The TikTok attention span having ass. The one who is physically incapable of playing a full match. But at least it gives me a good transition into the third point. toxicity. Now, as I said, Ozilla is not completely innocent here, but he sure isn't as bad as Jolta in this case. Even though Ozilla is being cheeky, he's still trying to actually play the game and score goals. Jolta though, time wasting, passing around the back in the first half, absolutely absurd. Now, believe it or not, there actually is some nuance in deciding what is and what is not toxic. Not everything is black and white. If someone is passing around the back in the 90th minute while winning by just 1 goal, annoying, sure, but not toxic. But to do keepy-ups, hold possession, and not actively play the game, yes, toxic. To quit a match while tied because you got a phone call, probably lying, that's kind of weird, but in that case, not toxic. To quit a match while tied because someone equalized on you, literally could not be more toxic than that. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. There have been instances in the past where I've quit because someone was being ratty or I was just very frustrated with the game. Regardless of the reason, that's still messed up and toxic. And then we have some people quitting when they get a red card early in the match. Some will quit if they concede a penalty, others will quit if the opponent equalizes, and some just quit after just entering the match in a Foot Champs game. I could go on and on about all of the stuff that the community does, but you know what's interesting? The community is made worse because of EA Sports. I've mentioned this in a previous video, but a lot of the toxic things in this game would be dramatically decreased, even completely disappear, if EA would just fix some of these issues. If a person got the win when someone quit while it was tied, the most toxic thing in the game would literally be gone. Less broken mechanics to spam, like the step over boost, you get a better skill gap and less rattiness. Consistent gameplay all the time, more skill, less frustration, less toxicity. Better attacking AI that would lead to different attacking options that could actually work, more fun, and less boring. All 3 of those pillars would be dramatically improved if the gameplay was better. It's that simple. So yes, the community is obviously not good, which given this is the same group of people that left these comments on women's cards, I'm not exactly surprised, but the community is absolutely made worse by the game. And while it shouldn't be completely up to the player base to make the game more fun and enjoyable for everyone, we have to remember that these are the people that are making the game. They want to cater to the biggest audience possible in order to make the most money, and since their earnings have steadily increased the past few years, they won't ever change, and the game most likely won't either. So unfortunately, that means that we as a community have to do better, because God knows that this company won't. For example, if you're done with your games on Foot Champs, actually give away your wins. Oh, but no one's done it for me. Why should I do it for them? My guy, you sound like a literal boomer. Oh, I didn't have help, so I won't help anyone else. Wow, that's definitely not a dick move at all. You're acting like this meme. You are literally acting like a meme right now. You also need to try to play in a more attacking way. You don't need to use every single pro tactic released because 1, they're virtually all the same anyway, 2, it's boring as hell, and 3, and I can't emphasize this enough, you are not a pro player. So here's a tip for you, something that you could do, right? Actually play a game that you enjoy, because contrary to what the smartest FIFA player alive says, there have been more than 2 games ever produced. And I get that video games are expensive. They absolutely can be. So here's another tip for you. You don't have to play the newest releases either. You can absolutely play a game made in 2020, 2017, hell, even 2012. And I know that's before most of you were born, but there were good games back then too. You want some first-person shooters that you can play with friends? Bet. How about Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel? 2 full games, lots of add-ons, and even DLC content for only $10. How about one of the most iconic video game series in history? Halo. The Master Chief Collection is on sale for $10, which gives you 6 full games, and if you somehow don't want that, you can buy individual games for only like $5. Okay, your friends are pissing you off and you just want to play a single player game. No problem. How about Cuphead, which is only $20? A beautifully crafted game with hand-drawn animations. Yes, this entire game was hand-drawn. Feels weird to play a game made by a company who actually cares about you, right? Yeah, that's weird initially. Undertale, one of the few games who can actually make turn-based combat fun and has one of the best soundtracks of all time. $10. Yakuza 0, or any Yakuza game for that matter, has some satisfying combat and the funniest things I have ever seen. You got a man named Miracle Johnson and the game is $20. Seriously, are you kidding me? Like, this scene alone is absolutely worth the money. You say you have literally no money to spend on games? Don't worry, I got you. Rocket League, which is totally free and just as toxic as FIFA, so you won't feel out of place. Destiny, PUBG, The Sims, Doki Doki Literature Club. It's not what it looks like, okay? It's a horror game. Just play it. It's fun. All right, you still want to play a football game? Play this one. 10,000 times better than FIFA. You want to go down the Nintendo route? Yeah, you can do that. You got an old gen console you want to dust off? Sure, try my favorite game of all time. You want to go more old school? Try one of the best games ever made. Now notice right there I just said one of the best games ever made, not the best game ever made. See, if you do want to actually play the best game, that'll cost you a little bit, around $100 actually. The game in question, 50-cent Blood on the Sand, goddammit. I mean, look at these graphics. These are revolutionary. Look at the gameplay. Oh, it's crisp as hell. And the cutscenes with the voice acting, it makes you feel like you're 50 Cent.
You Raul? So what you got for me?